Hey guys, it's Chris, and welcome to the Toned and Toneful video podcast, episode number 30. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. So, in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about our self development more as it goes outside us into our community. Like in the previous episode, we were talking about leadership. In this one, we're going to be talking about how our community affects us and how that changes our personality and changes who we are. I think one of the things in life that can be very difficult sometimes is picking friends and is picking your tribe. And one of the things that can be really hard about it is there's so many people in life that we like for so many different reasons that is very hard to narrow down on the values that might matter the most in creating a circle around us of friends and that really close circle or tribe so that we can have something that reflects our inner values, but at the same time also allows us to grow in a way where we're held accountable, where we're also supported when we're emotional, and at the same time we can enjoy the same type of humor and hobbies together. So in this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about why your friends reflect who you will become, or why your friends can reflect what ends up being your personality, despite the fact that you might not be the same as this other person. So off the top, humans are very social creatures. We're all very social. And those of us who spend time alone, and like when we talked about in the monk mode episode, we might go through phases of that in life where we're a little more to ourselves. And might be a very descript few who kind of stay to themselves no matter what in life. They kind of keep to themselves and they never want to venture outside kind of their own thoughts. But I think for most people, we like to spend time with people who we would consider our friends and our family because that allows us ways to communicate our ideas. That allows us ways to build up who we are in our thoughts and our ideas, because people make a team and a team are able to get things done. So it's really important to be able to be around people so you can actually get something done in life. And I think when people are introduced to each other, we look for things that might not always be the best for us, but we accept a lot of things because we're told to, accept people as they are, and we're told to, that person's free to be who they want. But I don't think that they tell us the other side of that story. And the other side of that story is you need to be free in yourself to think of what your values are and what you need in life so that you can develop proper relationships. And it's not about only having boundaries. I think it's about also seeing people's values. A lot of times when we take a look at our friends in our life, we have a certain level of agreeance with them, and there's, preferences that might be different, which is totally okay. Maybe one of your friends likes to wear jean shorts during the winter and you like to wear pants because it's cold. There's nothing wrong with things like that. But I think what you start noticing is in people's values. And this is where a lot of friends, I think, in communities short themselves because they accept values that they don't exactly agree with in someone else, but they say because it's not me, it's okay. For example, if I have a best friend and my best friend is always lying, and for me, I don't like to lie, I think you're off to a very, very hard start for a friendship, because people who are going to lie constantly are never going to be able to fully tell you the truth because they lie constantly. Their view, their lens of the world is through maybe lying to protect themselves, maybe they're lying to boost their ego, maybe they're lying to somehow enhance a section of their life that they don't feel as proud of, while you, on the other hand, might tell the truth. Hey, I don't have enough money to go on this trip. And the other person might make a lie that they could go on the trip and then flake out at the last moment because that's easier for them to say, well, my mom is sick. I can't go on this trip. Where you would say, well, actually, I financially can't afford to go to Hawaii with you guys, but, if I save up, maybe next time I can go with you. And I think that if you look at a situation like that, we've all had friends that couldn't exactly tell the truth. They were kind of always making up stuff, and they would always make up white lies, or they would make up little things here and there. And while another person would directly tell the truth, and they might be ridiculed, like, wow, say for example, I was going on this trip and I said, hey guys, I can't afford to go on this trip to Hawaii with you guys. I just don't have the money for it. People might be going, well, why doesn't Chris have enough money? He has a job. Why doesn't Chris have enough money? He does what he's always spending all his money, huh? Like, yeah, you notice that he's buying guitars, and you know this that he's doing stuff, and that's why he can't afford this trip. And whether those people are right or wrong, you told your truth. While on the other hand, maybe you have a friend who says, "Oh, sure, like I'd love to go on this trip," and everyone's starting to build up all the plans, and everyone's getting ready to buy tickets, and then as soon as everyone's ready to do something, the other person will be like, "Well, actually, my mom's really sick. I can't go. I have to take care of my mom." And everyone might not question them at first. Everyone might be excited that the other friend has the ability to make plans with them, was talking about going to Hawaii with them. And at the last minute, when this person lied, they feel they can't say anything. Oh, wow, look, this person their mom is sick. We can't be mad at them. But on the other hand, they can look at you while you told the truth. Hey, look at Chris. Like, he has no money. Why do you think he has no money? This is one of the main things that I think can separate a group of people from you and what you need to be really careful of. Because say, for example, that I find out that my friends were talking about me and making fun of me that I had no money, it might actually encourage me to lie like my other friend and start making up, lies that would make me feel better in the moment so that I don't have to feel the pressure or the pain of the distance emotionally from my friends, because now I can tell they don't like me as much or they're not as cool with me because I might not have the ability to do something that they want to do at the current moment. I might be a little more financially struggling, even though telling the truth and being honest with my friends. At the same time, these other friends would prefer that someone made up a lie so that they could be a part of that group. So that first example is of value, because one of the things that we got to be really careful of when we're looking at friends, and one of the things that we got to be really careful of when we're spending time with people, is not allowing other people's values to become our values. If you've worked really hard in life to be a truth teller, if you've worked really hard in life to be transparent, if you've worked really hard in life to not do things that you consider wrong, we have to be careful with spending time with friends, no matter how badly we want friends, that they have similar values to us. Because if you're spending time around liars, your future is that eventually, most likely, you'll become a liar. And it might not be about a trip. It might be about something else. Why I was using that as an example, because it's something that, friends tend to do a lot. Also, another thing that you might notice when you're spending time around people who are different from you is this allows you to not live in a full cognitive, forwardness. Like, you're not allowed to be functional and forward in your life. You end up becoming a little bit disillusioned, and you might even become incoherent with what your missions are. Say, for example, that you're a musician and you're the kind of person who's playing your guitar every day, or you're playing your instrument every day, and you're really looking to build up your ability to be strong with your musical abilities. If someone else wants to become a lawyer, you're spending time around people who want to be doctors, they might not see that as a fruitful use of your time. They might see you as someone who's like wasting time, or someone who's burning their skill set on something that could make more money up front or more stable money. And that might matter to that group of friends, where inside your heart, you're looking for emotional fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, maybe, because music actually heals you in some way. For a lot of people, I hear the term music is medicine, or I hear the term that music is my life. And if you're that kind of person who feels that something that you're doing is your life, to deal with other people who feel the opposite of you, even if they like you as a person, like, oh, Chris is cool, but they can't agree with you on the fact that what you're doing in your purpose is very meaningful to you, I think you very much need to question what kind of friends you might need to have. I think this is why it's really important that whatever you do in life, you find friends that are similar in that interest or in that hobby. I'm not saying that every friend you need to have needs to belong to that same, group of people. Like, if you're a doctor, all your friends need to be doctor, or if you're a musician, all your friends need to be musicians. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that they need to have a similar value in how they go about what they do. If someone wants to be a doctor and that's what they truly love, but it's because they're following their calling and they want to help people, it's not just about money or their parents are forcing them, then the quality that you guys have in that goes together with each other is the quality of following your heart. So I think that one of the main things that after lying, after like dishonesty, is the second dishonesty is not being able to live on a social level of what you want. So first off, lying is like, really bad. So we don't want to be doing that. And then second off, do we really want to be lying to ourselves? Do we want to be spending time with people who judge us for something that's a little bit different than what they're aiming for? Or do we somehow know that the person who's not able to, see our value in our path is maybe someone else who might even be forced to be doing something outside their path? Maybe they don't want to be a doctor. Maybe they don't want to be a lawyer. But at the same time, they're pushing you to stop doing music because they can't exactly understand how you're strong enough to be able to accept the hardships maybe that come with that, how you accept maybe telling your parents the truth, and maybe that bothers them because they're looking for someone to be able to go, oh man, I never even wanted to be a doctor. I never even wanted to be a lawyer. And they want you to be able to go, yeah, me neither. I wish that I was a musician. In 10 years, that's what they're hoping. They're hoping they have someone to commiserate with. If I show you friends, I'll show you your future. The friends that you have, the values that they have, they're going to eventually be on you. So if you're spending time with people who aren't able to admit their path and to be able to follow and pursue what they truly love, I think that's another sign that somebody is not actually a true friend for you. I think that someone who's a true friend, or someone who, dare I say, could become your tribe, that's someone who's really close, is someone who's going to see the value in your mission, and someone who's going to see the value in the things that you choose to do for your life. They'll see that your purpose is something that is so important and something that they should be supporting. Another thing that I notice in friends and groups of friends that we want to be careful of, that we don't want to become, is if we find friends who are gossipers, or we find friends who are people who tend to talk bad about other people. And this is something that is so contagious. So this is maybe the one I should have, put as number one almost, but friends who smile in your face and stab you in the back. It's like the gossiper level. That is something that if you're a really good-natured and good-hearted person, you're not going to do. You don't want to spend time talking about people negatively behind their back. It is better to confront them up front. So if you're spending time with people who every time one of your friends walks away and they start talking behind their back, like I used an example of the trip earlier. Oh, why is Chris broke so much? Or why do you think, and people are starting to develop and talk about you behind your back, that is not a group of people who's the right people for you. If your friends are speaking about you behind your back, you would most likely want those people to be saying the same things that they say about you in front of you behind your back. If you find out that the people who you really care about, or the people who you're building relationships with, are talking bad about you, it's very easy to hear that. And the next time you're with the group of friends, when another friend leaves, they start talking, it's easy to have that spirit of gossip in you, where you start talking badly about them yourself. You start going off and mentioning, well, this person doesn't do this, or this person doesn't do that. And I think that that's a very, very, very scary place to be. Because if we want to maintain the things that we've built, and we want to maintain the things that we have, the worst way to do it is to develop dishonesty in how we express ourselves towards our friend. If we have something that we need to confront our friend about, I think it's much better to actually tell them up front, no matter how small or how big the trait is. It's better to ask about it. It's better to be curious about it and go, yo, why do you always do that? Or, hey, why do you not have enough money for the trip? Oh, well, I just bought a guitar, and I bought it so I could record this song with, and so I don't have $1,000 for a plane ticket. Sorry, but I really want to get my music done. If someone could have asked you to your face about that, you can answer for yourself. Or if you ask somebody, they can answer for their self. And I think that this is a very important quality to have as a friend. Ask questions and communicate with the person in front of you. Don't communicate behind their back with others, coming up with reasons why they might or might not be doing something. So then that way you can feel better about yourself, or you can have a little conversation, something to entertain you. And a lot of people are very, very guilty of this. I've been guilty of this myself. As someone walks away and someone makes a comment, and it's just contagious. You can almost just feel yourself going, yeah, like, well, they do this and they do that, and can you do, why are, like, you start saying things that are not appropriate for the situation. So when we're looking for the quality of friends that we want to become, if we want the future that we want, that's full of support, that's full of purpose, that's full of the ability to be able to reach a hand out and maybe get help, but also we're giving help. We need to be very, 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 strategic about the friends that we choose and very strategic about the moves that we make in our life, so we don't get trapped in a place where we're almost stuck. We're almost in a group of people who they want to keep us near them. Because the best people in life want to see you step up every single part of the way. And when you shine, they're not looking to take it away from you. When you have your moment of greatness, you get an A on your test, they might have got a B or a C. But you don't want that friend who has a B or a C to be coming down on you because you got an A. You studied. For the first time, you actually did the work. This is your first real A. That friend should be like, yo, man, or yo, you did such a good job. I can't believe that you were able to lock down on all those questions. Some of those were really hard for me. Actually, as a matter of fact, I got a C, but next time, like, can you teach me how to study with you? Because I want to get an A on my next test. That's the kind of friend you want. You don't want the kind of friend who's like, oh my God, I can't believe that they're so proud of themselves. They got an A on the test and like, whatever. I got a C and guess what? It's still passing. So whatever. They're like so annoying. Like, I can't believe that they're always so worried about getting A's on their tests. And they're always so proud of themselves. It's so annoying. That's not the group of friends you want. If you're coming out with an album, you want friends to be stoked for you. You want them to be like, hey, like, I can't wait to listen to your album. I can't wait for your album to come out, and I hope it sells well. You don't want friends who are like immediately like, oh yeah, can you believe so-and-so's album came out? Yeah, like, they didn't even, like, no one even listened to it. Did you see how, like, low the numbers were? Did you see, like, how few shares that he had? And then the friends that you have that are close friends of yours, they don't even share the content you have. They don't share what you do because they're not proud of you. They're not happy about you. The places that we get in life are built through the teams that we make. And one of the things that we have to be very careful of is the group of friends that we have and the tribe that we have, those are people we pick. So we need to be exceedingly careful in how we pick these people, because as time goes on in life and you're living with these partnerships and these are the people you spend time around, you become like these people. There's a saying that you become like the 5 people you spend time around the most. If the 5 people you spend time around are people who gossip, people who lie, people who don't support, people who tell white lies, like they're like, oh, I really enjoy what you're doing, but they don't really do anything for you. Or they're so into their own life that they actually can't reach out to you, because no matter how busy someone says they are, there's always a little bit of time to reach out and make time for other people. And if someone's your friend or your tribe member, the fact that they can't make time for you says kind of a lot about where the location of their spirit and their heart is. And I think one of the main things that we can learn from our group of friends is who we do and we don't want to become. It's better to be alone and spend time in that monk mode and reflect on stuff and find a group of people who's correct for us than it is to be in that group of friends who slowly every day they're changing your values. They're changing who you are into what they are. Each time as you complain about something, they go, yeah. And you go, well, I have support when I complain. Each time that you say something bad about someone and they go, yeah, that person is blah, blah, blah. And you're finding support in being negative towards somebody. Every time that you fail, they go, yeah, well, I failed too. You want to go to the bar and get some beers? Want to smoke and get high, bro? Like, let's get lit. Come on, bro. Like, you don't have to remember this, bro. Come on. That's not what you want. That's not the path you want to go down. Going down a path where you are degenerating your values and degenerating the ideas that you have Or say you want to practice your instrument and a friend comes over and you know you haven't practiced the last 2 days because you've just been busy with maybe homework or you've been busy with your regular work. And this friend's like, oh man, you practice all the time, dude. Like, you're already good. Like, why do you always got to practice? And so you put your guitar down a third night. You put your instrument down a fourth night. It could be the 10th night. That degeneration is not what you want. You don't want to be losing what you've worked for. And as each step of the way you take a step away from yourself, you can feel inside you're not happy. You don't like this group of friends. As a matter of fact, when these friends call you, you're almost more bothered. You have a choice. This is where in life you actually get to win. You get to pick who's around you. And you get to pick who is going to help you uphold your values. Maybe at work this isn't always the easiest. Maybe when you're at work you got to be around people who are hired into the job. But those don't necessarily need to be your friends. Those who support your purpose and those who support you personally, keep them close. Because in life, those are the people who are going to make sure that you end up where you want to be, that you're actually moving forward. It's so hard for me to explain how important this is because this is one of the choices that you do get. And it sucks that a lot of people pick the wrong people for themselves and they end up in a space where they're doing things they don't like. They have husbands and wives that they picked because their friends like them or their family liked them, but they don't like them. They have choices in their life that they're doing because someone else said it would be a good idea. And they're looking for approval. This is not the life you want. The life you want is filled with the things that you desire for your purpose around you and that you can feel you're meant to do, that you were born to do. And the people who see you for who you are, they might not look the way you expect them to look. They might not be the person you expect them to be. Like, you're like, oh, this person is the person who supports me the most. Like, they're a different race than me, or they're a different type of person than me. Like this is weird, but that's who it is. The people who are sent our way in life to help build our spiritual mission and help build who we're trying to become, those people, they're just there. One of the things that I'm the most fortunate with the internet and social media and Toned and Toneful is the more honest I am about myself, sometimes I see the followers go down. I see people who I really liked unfollow me and I'm like, whoa, I really like that person. Like, why did they unfollow me? Or why are they gone? And the truth was, I didn't align with who they were. They didn't want to see my content. They're not proud of who I am. They never shared anything I did. And on the other hand, I have people who, every single story I put up, they make sure to support me. They make sure to say what's up. And it's not because any of us are forced to do that. It's just because like they can feel the goodness in someone's heart and they want that. Be thankful for those people. And remember that the people who support you, they help you realize that it's good to support others. They help you realize that it's good to tell someone good job. That's good to tell someone I love you, or hey, it's good to tell someone, hey dude, you got this. Not the kind of person who's like, can't celebrate with you. The person who's like, congrats on that A. The person who's like, your album sounded amazing. By the way, is there anything I can do to help you with it? Should I share it on my social media? Or, I actually showed it to a couple of other people. And you know what's funny? They actually bought it because they really liked it too, because they're my actual friends. And we have that good similar taste together. We're able to enjoy things together. This is such an important part of friendship. And when you look around yourself, if all you see is different values for life, there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to know people and have associates who have different values in life, but they treat you fairly, or they treat you okay. That's okay. It's okay to know them. But the group that is given to us, that's really on our purpose, our tribe, and our really close friends who we would call family, people who we would look out for, the people who, when they're like, dude, I'm short on money, I would like literally pull money out of my wallet and be like, here you go. Those are the people that you need to figure out how to keep them in your life and how to support them. Because life is very short and very long at the same time. When you're on your purpose and you're living life for what you know you need to do, things go by quickly because they're wonderful, they're beautiful. And when you're off track, life can go by very slow. I've had parts of my life that every day felt like a million years because of the fact that I wasn't working on my music. And I wasn't focused on the mission. Instead, I was getting high. Instead, I was getting drunk. Instead, I was spending time around people who told me, hey, like, you don't need to be that focused on that. Like, why are you always so on this? Like, you could just do whatever you want. And I would spend time with those people and I would forget where my purpose was. And the next day when I woke up in the morning with a headache or I wasn't high anymore, all I could feel was internal crying. All I could feel was pain because I wanted to be back on track with my purpose. And one of the biggest, most fortunate things that I've been able to experience is while doing Toned and Toneful, finding another group of people who really actually do want things to be better in my life and how much I want my life to be better and I want to help other people feel better about their life. And if people can hold those similar values to me, there can be a community that helps me grow and I'm finally back on track. I'm finally finishing songs. I'm finally making weekly content and not being off track because someone tells me I do this all the time. I don't need to worry about it. That's not the spirit that we want to be operating from. So I'm sorry to sound so kind of down, but one of the things that, I'm remembering a lot of pain that I felt in my life. Remember that you can choose your friends and you can choose your family. Your relatives are the people who you're born into. I heard this somewhere. Your relatives are the people you're born into. But your friends and your family, you choose them. Like that family you build around you, that tribe you build around you, those are people you pick. Pick wisely. Because these are the people who are going to be the ones to support you when you fall down. If you pick people who talk trash about everybody as soon as someone else walks away, just know that you're no different. They're going to talk trash about you. And the worst thing is, eventually you're going to become that kind of person who talks trash when people walk away. Instead of asking questions. If you're around people who lie just to make their ego feel a little bit better, but they're not able to tell you the truth, they tell little white lies, they flake on things all the time. They're not able to tell you like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't really like parties, so I'm not going to come to your birthday party with all the people, but can I take you out for, a small cake, or you want to go hang out for a cup of coffee on our own? If you don't have people who can tell you the truth, and instead they make up, oh, I'm really sick on that day, and then you look on their Instagram and they're out doing something else. These are the people we get to choose. So if you have a person who always says, oh, I flake all the time, take their word for it. Don't spend time around that person. Oh, I don't really like going out, and you like to go out? Take their word for it. That's not the right friend for you. The right friend is somebody who wants to be walking life in a similar path that you do and enjoys similar values that you do so you guys can build together, no matter what it is, no matter what type of person you are. We should be building with those around us who are similar to us and who see things from a similar place in the world. And if they're different than us, that's fine, but their values need to be in the same place. So as you guys go through this year and start accomplishing goals and seeing who's coming to your side and who's supporting you, who actually wants to see you win, these are some things that I wanted to keep in mind because our community is so important. That's why the last episode was on leadership and this one's on friends. It's very, very important that not only do we self-develop, but we're developing around us. In this upcoming month, I'm going to be talking about diet and exercise. I have 2 episodes planned for you guys, and one's on diet and one's on exercise. And I really, really, really want you guys to know that I'm really happy with the community that we're building. And I'm glad to connect with so many of you guys, whether it's in a comment or it's on a DM. that you guys have similar values to me, and we're looking to build ourselves and build the community around us. Anyways, I hope that you guys really, really have a great week. I hope you enjoy your Tuesday. And most of all, above all things, stay toned and toneful.